I'm back at Crickheath Basin on the Monty. I've done a little trip over here and we've got a boat on here as well. That's the first time I've seen one, which is good to see. Quite often see pictures of lots of boats on here, but I never seem to catch them. This is my third visit to the canal, and I just want to have a look to see what's happening with Schoolhouse Bridge and the bits in between. There's quite a lot that's changed since I came here. I think it was around January time. It was absolutely hammering it down last time I was here, and this area here was all flooded. So this is the wharf area where you can see the wall across here has been rebuilt, and it's right up to copings now. It's a dry stone wall rather than being cemented in, but they believe it is all solid in here. And this was holding water earlier in the year, like I said, when we were here last time. I think it was just due to the amount of rain that had come down, it all poured into here. Other than the coping stones across this section here, which if you look up the top there, you've got the original ones there, this looks pretty much there. So this would have been an old wharf. I think lime used to be brought down to here. You can see there's a kind of wall at the back there as well, some steps going up to the cottages up there. But this would have been a nice large loading wharf down through here. So what they're doing is they're cutting the concrete underneath this wall here, and they're cutting it in a dead straight line, so it goes up into the section here behind this digger, and through the gap there you'll see a red post on the floor, and they're going to put a membrane in behind that and screw that red post into the floor with the membrane coming up and over the top, folding over and coming up towards us up the bank, going into the next section. So if you remember last time I was here, they filled these sections to test them, and they had several bunds in, and just up ahead here I knew it was tested, I knew it had been filled with water, but it was bone dry, despite all the area down through here being flooded, both because of water testing and I think because of the rain. So they knew they had a problem, so they've come up with a solution. The clay bed is obviously no good, and as you can see from here, look, they've got this massive channel that's been completely rebuilt. So as you can see, they've got multiple layers here, so it's a more modern way of doing it. So you've got the black plastic there, which is kind of your seal, then you've got like a geotextile on top as well, and then that is what stops the water from coming through. These stones on the top that they laid, or the blocks that they laid, are there to weigh it down and protect it, because it would just float away otherwise. Then they've got, so you can see on the top where they've got some sort of turned up, and they're putting like another layer on top, which this guy's just knocking back at the moment. That is like a little wall coming up, that's cemented in and held in place, and behind there then they're putting, if you walk up to here, look, a gravel, well, it's quite a large hardcore bank, and they're putting sort of like core matting I believe in here as well, and sort of earthing it over, so you've got a natural grass bank into the canal. This allows any animals to sort of come in and cross. A lot of the canals, you know, where they've been closed, they've become migration routes and stuff. So this slope bank on both sides allows animals to get in and out on either side. There won't be any mooring in this section, but you'll be surprised how much of the canal network is actually shaped like this. It was never designed for mooring. It was designed for taking boats from wharf to wharf, taking goods. So people wouldn't stop, you know, go for a kilometre or two and then go again. They would literally just carry on going and only stop at night to, you know, at the end of their shifts. This was bunded up here, so they have put this blockwork up onto this bund rather than bunding again on top of the blockwork. I imagine that's to do with, because these aren't cemented in, they're just placed in, like I said, they're holding all these layers down. And that could potentially be porous going underneath the bund, so by bricking up to this side and keeping that geotextile up on there, that will seal this whole section. And I imagine when they come to do further down, if that bit's leaky, they will put a new bund in here to try and then start again through. So this will have to be taken back out again. It's amazing progress. This was just a pile of mud last time I was here, so fair play to the volunteers down here who are doing all the work. And then we're going into this section here, which has been cleared. So they've spent the winter time clearing this a bit. There were definitely trees in this section last time I came, so they're all cleared during the winter months when there's no nesting going on, so you don't want to disturb any nesting birds. And I remember coming down here, because on the left hand side here you can just see, because the shadows are coming down, there's a clearing. This is where some hedge laying was done, and this was definitely full of trees down through here. This towpath as well has been upgraded. I believe this was still mud up in this section. It's only just up to here, but it's another piece of the jigsaw put in. Yeah, look at this now. So if you remember me saying, this is hedge laying, so they basically they cut the branches, and you can see the branches running across in here, angle them up, so you cut them not fully off, you leave a small section on, then you fold it up and run them uphill, and then what happens is the shoots come off where you cut it, and then the tree starts growing up, so you create a nice thick barrier. It looks barren when you first do it. Obviously you do it in the winter when there's no leaves on the trees and stuff, but already you've got shoots coming up to take new growth up. You've got one on there, look, you see that's a hedgerow growing up, all new shoots all along there, and that will then grow taller and thicker, and then as the time comes you might need to do it a bit more and fill it all up. And a lot of these whips which were put in are already grown quite well. So this will be a nice barrier for the canal, a nice thick dense bush for nature to nest and hide in, and stop any sort of, if a farmer's in their field next door, it will stop any cows and stuff escaping down here. So this is the last little bit up to Schoolhouse Bridge. That was the only major obstruction on the canal until you got to Wales. So let's pop over now and we'll see where they are with that bridge. So here we are, Schoolhouse Bridge. The towpath had a diversion which went up there. I think you still got to go up there to get up onto the lane. But this was not open last time I was here, so this is the first time I'm going to be able to walk under the bridge, which is pretty cool. We'll be on the towpath now, obviously, with the canal channel running through this section here. I think they're still doing some work on some of the retaining walls and stuff here, but most of it looks to be done. This was a big site compound last time I was here. The lady who lives in the cottage was very helpful to the canal, and they actually pretty much destroyed half her garden to get it through. She was more than on board. She knew the benefits that this was going to bring to living next to the canal. It's quite cool, they've got an old sign there, look, that they found broken up in the wall. So this was a £1 million bridge, and it was built in sections. So what you had here, this is a completely concrete structure, and you can actually see this is a metal bit with a concrete bit behind here, and this metal bit here is to hold the arch that's being built above, and then the spandrels, I think they're called, are cladded then with brick, but the bottom, so it looks like as you're approaching and you're seeing it from anywhere else, it looks more like a traditional bridge, but it is actually more of a flat bridge rather than a humpback bridge. So here are the sections, look, they lifted these up all in one piece, and that was, they came on a flatbed lorry, and when they lifted them they formed the arch, and they put these sections in place and they created this bridge, and then obviously the end sections added on. There's a lightweight concrete up above here, and then the road surface on top, which we'll pop up and have a look at. This is good to see. They're on the side of this bridge, on the roadway side, they put some core matting in, and the idea was that can stabilise the bank, so it's not just a mud bank, it's got a solid bank so it doesn't erode and stuff will grow through. And look at this, you've got I think that's poppies and loads of different wildflowers. It's absolutely buzzing with nature here now. There's bees and everything all feasting on this corridor of vegetation. And here we are up onto the bridge. So it has got a slight hump, but it's nothing compared to what a traditional humpback bridge would be. There's a lot of lorries come up and down here. There's a farm up here that sells farm equipment, I believe, so it's got to take quite a lot of weight and has to have, you know, a gentle curve onto it. You can see the line going down through there now. The old lane ran across there that was put in the temporary lane, and then that is going down to Canal, which is where there's another small section of water, and then you're over the Welsh border. Further on down there, there's quite a lot happening on the Welsh side. They're trying to join a very long section up that goes down towards Welshpool with the border on that side with funding, which will then join a whole load of canal onto the network.